Good morning, Anne-Sophie.
Hi
there.
Kate. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good, you?
Very good.
Good. So we are here for our creative conversation about transgression. We thought we would discuss today. And what is it? What does it mean? The definition of transgression is an act that goes against a law, rule, or code of conduct, an offence, which is pretty heavy duty. Why are we talking about this?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty scary word when you think about it, transgression. It feels like you're doing something a bit bad. But I guess the point of today's conversation is to show that breaking rules is not necessarily bad and is probably quite useful. And in coaching, transgression means the difference between knowledge and imagination and how you jump from knowledge to imagination. So should we explain how we came up with this subject?
Yeah, I think it's something that comes up a lot because, you know, we are coaching people to get past challenging situations and sort of how to face obstacles and find ways round, which is not necessarily breaking rules, but it's navigating the status quo or trying to seek new opportunities. And often a question that comes up or we ask is, what if there were no rules? Trying to kind of see beyond barriers.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's particularly challenging and necessary in what we've all experienced for the last year and a half. I mean, creative people are used to or know that instinctively that breaking rules are necessary. And then all of a sudden our set of rules changed and they became very restrictive. And so it was quite challenging for most people to face the new rules and wonder if they can be broken and what happens when you break them. And this very restrictive environment has really highlighted the fact that if you're completely unable to break the rules, it challenges your creativity.
And I think creative people are often natural rule breakers. You know, they don't mind being outsiders usually. The people I coach anyway are mostly kind of freelancers. They're independent people. They don't work for big organizations where they're sort of cushioned by a structure. You know, they're on their own, so they haven't got, you know, the comfort of a kind of a support system, and they like being independent, to be honest, and they like being self-employed. So there has to be a certain amount of reliance on confidence to break rules, to challenge things, and see them as challenges rather than blocks, really.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset that we want to highlight today, is that when is transgression a bad thing, and how do you make transgression or breaking the rules a positive thing? How do you make it work for you and improve your performance and your creativity? What's your experience in that? How do you harness transgression in a positive way?
I think you've got to do what feels comfortable for you. You know, you can't sort of push yourself beyond boundaries that don't sit comfortably with you, and asking yourself that question, what if there were no rules, trying to kind of get an outsider's perspective of a situation that you're very much in, and thinking of kind of worst case scenarios might be helpful as well. You know, could you face the consequences of something kind of going wrong? I'm sort of thinking about, you know, past experiences of working in an environment for somebody who was quite happy to break rules, quite happy to challenge status quos. And it was Haunch of Venison when, you know, the gallery was sold to Christie's, and it was very controversial at the time. It was a very bold move. And I remember, as you probably do, you know, whenever we went out to dinners and openings and stuff, everybody always wanted to know, how does this work? Like, this doesn't happen. You're a gallery, you're owned by an auction house. How does that work? But actually, it happened, and it now, you know, private sales and auction houses now account for 60% of their turnover, and primary market exhibitions are now the norm. So it's an example of something that seemed really kind of out there at the time and challenging, and now it's become normal.
Yeah, I think it happened because the two parties between Hunter Venison and Christie's had a vision. Like they consciously broke the rules because their vision was so strong. So they found the confidence to say, why should it be working like that? Why not trying something else? And I think this is one positive way of using transgression is keeping in mind your vision, your motivation when you break the rules. It needs to mean something.
Not breaking the rules just for the sake of it. It's because you have an objective.
It's interesting because it's a misperception that I experienced a lot when I worked for Damien Hirst, who was unfairly tagged as the bad boy of the art world, who was the one constantly breaking the rules, as if it was his motto. But the truth is, he did break the rules because he didn't believe in them. He didn't think they were good. And he thought that he wanted to place the artist back at the center of the market, which, whether you agree or not, is a very interesting point. And hence he kept on breaking the rules, selling directly at auction with Sotheby's primary works, being provocative because obviously he wants the audience to follow him in breaking the rules. And that's one way of motivating your audience. So I think you and I have experienced creative minds, and we know that it works. It works. You have to break the rules, but with meaning and vision.
Yeah. And I think what they both did is sort of have that vision, put it out there that that's going to happen, and then everyone sort of believes that it's going to happen, and it does. So it's really interesting.
Well, I think it's transgression without meaning or vision is not really courage. I would question that.
Yeah.
So
any tips?
Yeah, exactly. How can we help people listening to us to use transgression in a positive way? So shall we start with you?
I like a game called Flash Forward, where you try and visualize yourself when you're a kind of wise old person, or elder person, elder meaning wise and sort of full of spirit and knowledge and experience, and try and gain that perspective to look back at the situation you're in and try and assess what really matters, what's important, what's true to you, and honors your sort of true values, rather than being kind of deliberately controversial or something. It's like what matters really.
It gives you perspective. It gives you the distance you need to be confident. Yeah, I agree. I think another thing that is quite useful, and it's like the magic question, is why would you break the rules? Why do you need to break the rules? I think the why question is one of the most useful questions when you need to get a bit out of your comfort zone. And then very often you realize that what seems like a mountain is just, a necessary step into progressing, building your business, building your career. I recommend the why question. Every time you're lost, just ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And it's then taking that step to transform what you know and what you could know into, innovation and newness.
Absolutely. To me, transgression, if you have to give a positive definition, is asking the right questions to break rules. And yes, creating this, like you said, necessary step between knowledge and imagination and innovation eventually.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, it was nice. I think if anyone listening to us today, if you have any question, or if you want to share your experience in transgression, or your experience in working with people who break the rules, please share with us, because it's great great food for us to improve our coaching practice and share each other's experience.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You too. See you next time.
Soon. Bye.
Bye.